Initially, when I thought about this video that you are about to watch right now, I wanted to combine pad operation, pocket operation, loft and revolve operation into a single video. But when I thought about it deeply, I realized that it's going to be quite tasking for you to follow a very long video to know how to do about 4 different things. So I decided to break this video down into about 3 videos that would be shorter, maybe like 10 to 15 minutes each, so that you can really understand the concept and practice as things go along, from simple to a little bit complex. So in this video we'll be starting this 3-part series in this bigger series of videos, how to use pad operation. So I create a new file, Ctrl+N, and by now you should be an expert at creating sketches. So I'm going to just create a sketch here, XY plane, and I'm going to create a simple rectangle on that plane, and the rectangle is going to be 20 by 30 millimeters, and I'm just going to close the sketch and pad it or extrude it by a distance of 40 millimeters. Now, in case you missed what I did with the pad operation, let me go back. So I'm going to press Ctrl Z, right? I have my sketch here. To pad a sketch or to extrude a sketch, you have to firstly select that sketch. After selecting the sketch, then you come to the pad tool here and you click on the tool. When you click on it, usually there's a default setting for the length that will show up here. You can change that setting if you don't want it. For instance, I want to change this to 90, and there are also other settings that you could explore. So very quickly, I'm just going to explore this too. You can see this will say reversed. So if I click on this, it goes the other way, quite literally. This is the plane that I sketched on. So if I click on reversed, it will go the other way. If I click on symmetric to plane, it means that my sketch will be at the center and my extrusion will be done both ways. Very simple. So I want it to just be normal, right? And I'm going to click OK. So let's say that for some reason I want to create a hole through this face. Like maybe there are supposed to be 3 rectangles here on this face, equally spaced, and the holes go, say, the first 2 or the 2 closest to the edges, they go all the way through, but the one at the center does not go all the way through. So how do I do something like that? That's where the pocket operation comes in. Let me show you what I mean in case my explanation is not clear. I'll click on this face. You can create a sketch on any face. A face is a plane, very simply. So I'll click on this face, right? Click on create sketch, and after that I'm going to, because I want to sketch with reference to the existing features here, I'm going to project external geometry by clicking on this create external geometry tool, and I'm going to click on the lines that I want. I would encourage that if you can, follow me as I do them so that you can also learn too. I'm going to click on close. Oh no, I'm not supposed to close the sketch, so I'm going to open up that sketch again, right? So this is my sketch plane, and I'm going to create my rectangle. This time I want a center point rectangle, but before I create my center point rectangle, since I want everything to be at the center of this line, so I'm just going to create a line that will go through the center. So you can see my constraint showing up, that symmetric constraint. You can see the things attached to my cursor. That's the symmetric constraint right there, and I'm going to click on that and bring it straight down to connect with this other line here. Escape. I want this to be a construction line because I really don't want it to start giving me errors. So that's the construction line. Then I want to create a center point rectangle, one here. Let's just use 10 by 10 millimeters, and then another one here. Let's use 10 by 10 millimeters. I'm going to press escape to escape that too. So let's say the distance between each rectangle and the top is 30 millimeters. So dimension, click on the center there, click on the center here, and let's not use 30, let's use 20, and click on the center here, click on the center there, and 20. So very simply, I have my sketch and it is fully constrained. I click on close, and then I want to cut through this object with the sketch that I have just created. So very simply, I will click on the sketch. Anytime you want to do any operation up here in the path design, anytime, you have to first select the geometry that you will be using for that specific operation. So I would select the sketch W1, and then I'm going to select the pocket tool. The pocket tool is over here. So the pocket tool basically cuts through your physical or your solid object. So if I click on this pocket tool now, you can see that it cuts through that solid object, creates sort of like a depression, and is going through by a dimension of 5 millimeters. But I don't want 5 millimeters, I just want it to go all the way through. So I'm going to do through all. So you can see that it goes all the way through. I'll click OK. Now I have another rectangle or another hole that should look like this, but it does not go all the way through. It only goes in for 5 millimeters. So I'm going to click on this face again. I'm going to click on create sketch, and as usual, I will project the geometries I need. So this time I'm going to project which geometry should I project? Since the square will be at the exact center here, I want you to follow along with the geometries that I'm going to project. I'm going to project this line, this point here, and this point here. Okay, this point here is already active because it's the origin, so I don't need to project that. So let me go to my project geometry tool, and then I'll select this point here. I'll press escape, then I'll go to my center point rectangle, and I'm just going to draw the rectangle, not minding where it is supposed to be. So that's also 10 by 10, or for the sake of making it different, escape, let's make it 5 millimeters by 5 millimeters. So that's a smaller rectangle there. Now if I want this point to be at the exact center of this shape, I can just do a symmetry constraint that this point should be in the middle of this and this. So I'll just click on this point here, click on this point, and click on the center point here, then click on the symmetry constraint, and you see that that makes my sketch fully constrained. It has put it at the exact center. I close the sketch, and what I want to do is to cut this solid object by the sketch I've created here. So I'm going to click on the sketch, and then I'm going to click on the pocket operation, and you see that the pocket operation goes through. At this point is 5 millimeters, but I want to bring it up to 3 millimeters, and that is beautiful. So that is what I want. So that is basically how you do the pad operation and the pocket operation. You can do a lot of complex shapes just by using pad and pocket. So for instance, let's say I wanted this shape, let's say I wanted it to be like a rectangle. I'll show you what I mean. Let me create another file so that we don't lose that record. So let me create another shape. Okay, before that I have to create a sketch on this plane. I'm going to use rectangle, normal rectangle, and then I'm going to do a 30 by 50 millimeters. I'll click OK. Then I am going to simply do a pad operation on this, and I'm going to leave it at the default of 10. So let's imagine that I'm supposed to have a depression here, or I'm supposed to cut this in some way. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to click on this face here, create sketch, and then I'm going to project this line so that I can use them. So after projecting those lines, I want to create like I want to cut something like this. Let me show you. So this is the center point of these two lines. So I want to cut out this triangle here. So since I've already created my line, I'm just going to close the sketch and I'm going to click on the sketch here. Since I want to cut out this, I'm going to click on the sketch here and I'm going to click on the pocket operation. What happened? It's saying wire is not closed and my sketch has disappeared. Oh no. Well, that's because I didn't do a complete sketch. So how do you reverse this? I just press cancel and hopefully it reverses that. Click on the sketch again. If I click on the sketch, you notice that all I have on the sketch is a single line. FreeCAD cannot cut an object with a single line. Whenever you get a wire is not closed error, it means that like your lines do not form a continuous shape. For some reason there is a broken or an incomplete line in there somewhere. So for instance, if we ask FreeCAD to cut this object, in our minds we wanted to cut this part of the object, but how does FreeCAD know that you want to cut this part? How does it know that you don't want to cut this part? How does it know that you don't want to do something different with the line? So you have to define exactly what you want to do. So I'm going to open up that sketch again and I'm going to use the polyline tool to basically complete that triangle. Escape, and you can see that my triangle is now complete. Now if I try the same operation again, I click on the sketch, I click on pocket, you can see that that pocket goes through very beautifully, very beautifully. So that is how you use the pocket operation in FreeCAD. So let's say that I wanted to create another pocket operation here, for instance. So I'm going to click on that face. I'm going to click on create sketch. Wow, it has turned it in a way that I don't know what is what. So let me see what I'm doing actually. I'm clicking on this. Okay, so this is the lower part. This is lower part. So let me go back to where it was. Yes. So I'm going to project these geometries for use in my object. I'm going to click this, click on this line, click on this line, click on this line, and then this line. Press escape. And what I want to do is to draw a simple arc. A simple arc. So I'm going to come down here. Let's do a 3-point arc. And let me do from here to the center. You can see that symmetry constraint to here to, let's just do anywhere, right? Then I want to do a dimension for this circle. So I come to dimension to dimension this. I'm dimensioning it now as, let's do 30 millimeters. Remember, all I have right now is a single arc, like a single line. FreeCAD cannot do anything with that line because we've not yet told it what we want to do. So I'm going to create a line that goes like this and like this to complete or to close that sketch. So I'm going to go to polyline and then click on the point here, click on the point here, click on the point here, and press escape. Escape. It says over constrained. I wonder why. So I can literally come here and look at this over constraint and just delete one of them. That should work. If I delete constraint 8, so it says 1 degree of freedom not yet set, I guess. Okay, so I can constrain this point to this point just by selecting both of those points, control selecting both of those points, and then constrain. So I have that. Close. And what I want to do is to cut through the object again, and I will click on the pocket tool and you can see that it cuts through the object. Let me do a 3 millimeter cut so that you can see what it is. So you can see how it has cut through the object in that way. Let me go through the entire thing, through all. Okay, so I believe that you understand some things about the pocket operation now and the pad operation. FreeCAD is one of those softwares that you can't really know it unless you practice it, unless you actually try to do the things and maybe it fails or something like that before you actually say okay, now I know how to do this thing. So I would encourage you, as you have seen this video, practice these things that we have done. Just try it. You can think this is simple, but try this exact thing that I've done here, and if it fails, try to retrace your steps. If you don't get it, you can leave a comment in the in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to respond to your comments. Try it. If you get it, that's good. If you don't get it at the first try, try again and try again and try again, and as you go along, you'll be building your competency. Thank you for watching the video. I'll see you in the next video where we'll be talking about the revolve operation.